The biosphere will be inevitably and imminently destroyed by the technosphere, created on the planet and developed by our rapidly growing technocratic civilization. In the future, no one would be able to hide out somewhere on the French Riviera or on the private island in the ocean. Primitive people burned in fires in their homes in a cave died from lung cancer at the age of 20. Then they figured out to take their first technologies outside their homes and therefore were able to survive. Now the entire biosphere of the planet is our home. So that we all might survive tomorrow, it will be necessary in the future to remove the environmentally hazardous part of the Earth industry outside of the biosphere in the near space. Otherwise, we will suffer the fate of the mold in the petri dish, which, having consumed all the limited resources and polluted the limited living space with its waste products, inevitably dies. I once and for all understood this about 50 years ago. We have 2 generations left, i.e. 40 or 50 years to the point of no return, when the end of our civilization will become apparent and palpable by all, including politicians who are actually managing this impending doom process. And it doesn't matter whether they realize it today or not, it will not help matters for us, or rather our posterity. It turns out that all 100% of the energy is spent not on useful work, but on the struggle with the environment and its destruction. That's what we call the ecology. This is manifested in the emission of exhaust gases, noise from the rolling stock movement, vibration of the earth, abrasion of tires, asphalt, rails, crushed stone cushion, and so on. So, in case of land transport, it is necessary to minimize the suppression of the surrounding environment and its destruction. Energy consumption for the motion is the operating costs that must be borne every second, every minute, every hour, every day, every year, and every century. For example, the longest in the world is the Russian Trans-Siberian Railway, which is about 10,000 kilometers long. For 105 years on end, trains here have been keeping on in efficiency, spending energy to move billions of tons of cargo for thousands of kilometers, which translates into millions and millions of tons of fuel spent. If you look at aviation, every single A380 Airbus will burn more than 2 million tons of aviation kerosene during its entire service life. There is more than 1,000 railway trains of 40 tank wagons, each wagon filled with 50 tons of fuel. The cheapest option in the earth bank is the most environmentally dangerous one. Embankments destroy soil. In today's world, the area of land raised to the ground and buried under railway ties is larger than the territory, for example, of the UK by more than 5 times. This land is dead. It does not grow vegetation that produces oxygen needed for life on the planet, including our breathing. The earth bank, where the soil is compacted by 10% in comparison with the natural condition, is a low-head dam, which cuts off river sources, the movement of ground and surface waters. This leads to swamping on the side of the earth bank and desertification on the other. Therefore, we often see dried-up trees and even entire forests of deadwood next to the road. The earth bank severs the migration routes of animals and interferes with agricultural activities. Underground tunnels are very expensive. Today, building 1 kilometer of transport tunnel costs hundreds of millions of dollars or even $1 billion. A passenger feels uncomfortable in the tunnel. However, if we remove the uniform roadbed and leave only narrow strips for the wheels to roll, then we shall lower the price of the span structure by an order of magnitude. And if we make the structure continuous along its length, without expansion joints, we will increase the carrying capacity of the overpass twofold. Besides, to prevent compression and buckling, the truck structure must be stretched in the longitudinal direction. It must be made pre-stressed. It was the origin of the concept of the optimal elevated transport system, later called UST, Unitsky String Technologies. Its main elements are: first, continuous uncut pre-stressed string rail overpass. Second, rail electric vehicles on steel wheels, U-pods, with exceptionally high aerodynamics. Further research allowed to find solutions that improve high-speed aerodynamics. For example, sevenfold compared to a sports car like the Bugatti Veyron. The Bugatti, considering the spoiler, has CX 0.42, while a high-speed U-pod on steel wheels has CX 0.06, which is 7 times less. Moreover, the Bugatti carries 2 passengers, while the U-pod carries 20 people. These results were obtained experimentally during multiple wind tunnel tests and patented. Moreover, half of the improvements were achieved by eliminating the ground effect, because a rail car on steel wheels, which I later called the U-pod, does not move on a uniform roadbed but on 2 thin string rails.